I have a feeling that I'm going to butcher this entire video right here. And I'm sorry. I'm really sorry for the guy who made the video. We'll see how wrong or how right he is. All right, here we go.
Back with another video, and today we're going to be jumping into a PvP tier list.
Can you guys hear it good?
And give you guys kind of an updated idea of where these weapons lie in PvP. First off, we have Cleo Menace. If you want to say,
is the volume good? Okay, cool.
And kind of give us an understanding of what you kind of all entail with New World.
Hey, Graphic. Thanks for having me on here. So I alpha tested New World for about like 2 years. So I've been playing the game total about like pushing 3 years now. Jesus, it's a long time. But, you know, I took a break for these past few months. So
All right. So I needed to go take a piss, all right? I needed to go take a piss. I'm going to tell you guys something real quick. All right? I'm going to tell you guys something real quick. He said he's been playing the game for over 3 years. Or 3 years. First of all, and then he proceeded to say, I stopped playing a couple of, several months ago. If you play the game in alpha, that was not New World. That was a completely different game. If you play the game in alpha, you have absolutely no idea what the game is about nowadays because it's not even the same game. Okay? So alpha knowledge is completely irrelevant. Beta knowledge, it's completely irrelevant. And playing the first couple of months after the game came out is completely irrelevant. But we continue the video chat, all right?
I got a stream, twitch.tv/CleoMenace. You can check out some of my old footage there, play a lot of Rapier. But yeah, I'm just excited to come back for this upcoming Brimstone patch, and just kind of liking the changes they made to the game.
Yeah, there's a lot of them, and thanks for joining us here to kind of walk us through each and every PvP weapon.
Oh, he's the one walking us through the weapons? Oh, dude, we're in for a treat, chat. I'm glad I got my mid-stick, and we're going to watch this together, boys.
Do you want to walk us through what your kind of knowledge is on PvP, good guy?
Hey, what's going on? This is the Good Guy TM. You can usually find me at twitch.tv/thegooddguytm. I've been doing a lot of healing, boy gauntlet stuff. I keep up with everything combat related. I love the patch notes that they keep on dropping on us, and hopefully they keep on bringing up some good changes that the combat really needs, fleshing out some other weapons that are less used, and getting this ability in a place where you can use all 6 abilities.
Can you guys hear it still?
Yeah, no, I definitely think there's some really good things and changes that are coming over the next couple of weeks and months with the Brimstone patch, and that's exactly why I thought today would be a good time to talk about where these weapons stand right now with the current updates. So the first weapon that comes to mind is going to be the Rapier. So the Rapier is one that me and Cleo Menace, for a matter of fact, have used for really, I don't know, 2 years for me, probably 3 or 4 years for him. This is a weapon that we have known to love for many different reasons. It gives you that survivability. It gives you the, the riposte option. It also, unfortunately, does have a lackluster blood tree, but
the blood tree is perfect. You guys see how strong the blood tree is? The blood tree is a goddamn powerhouse. Do not say that the blood tree, it's not good. Because the blood tree, it's mega powerful.
Grace tree is enough to make it such a strong weapon. Definitely when paired with, the life staff or even the spear at this point. Many other, different mage builds. Cleo, where do you think this weapon should really go?
I think it's A. I mean, Grace is super strong. Some people will say S, but I think, Life Staff definitely takes the cake for that. But I think A is good. I mean, it's just a lot of mobility with Grace, and it allows other ranged builds to set up properly and do what they need to do. That just wouldn't be possible if Rapier wasn't in the game.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Good guy. What do you think? Would you agree with an A? Would you say that's a pretty solid place for it to be going right now?
No?
Absolutely. A for sure. I mean, it doesn't matter what weapon you're using, you're comboing with. I mean, besides maybe strength weapons, I guess
I want to see where he puts Fire
you got
Staff
your
at.
dex weapons, you got your mage weapons, you got healers.
I want to see what Fire Staff is at.
To just keep themselves alive and keep themselves pumping.
Oh, I cannot wait.
These huge AoE heals all the time. It's crazy. But it always takes the cake, honestly, as being an A tier weapon, no doubt.
It's an A tier weapon for a while just because of so many different weapons you can compare it with. And for that, it's a definitely solid A for now. We're going to continue, like I said, to plop these weapons down on the chart and list where they belong. And then at the end, we may move things around depending on some of the things we discussed throughout. So the next one we have in line is the Great Axe. The Great Axe is something that I haven't used too much in the recent
Don't you fucking
updates,
dare, dude.
but I've used it so much
Don't
in
you
the past.
fucking
So
dare
I wanna
put
ask
that
somebody
shit
that
close
knows
to
a little
B.
bit more about this weapon, and that's going to be Cleo. Yet again, he has used a lot of these melee weapons. When it's come to getting into these war segments, this is going to be more about arena and small scale, though. So where do you think Great Axe is going to kind of stand in this tier list?
It's I would say definitely A as well, because Gravwell is still so oppressive. I mean, Gravwell has just seen crazy up and downs from being dog shit in alpha to getting fixed and seeing its full strength in live, and then
And then seeing it one-shot people for a full month. Then seeing one-shot people for a full month, gravity welling, just hitting for 10,000 damage. Yeah, it's just your typical walk in the park. You just throw an ability, you suck in 6-7 people, and they all fucking die. It's just a solid A weapon.
if you could just bait them on their stamina, rip a Gravwell, I mean, it's just GG.
Yeah,
they
I
don't have
agree with that.
riposte. I mean, everyone just gets shredded. It's so much utility: fortify, healing, sustain, chase. It's a really all-in-one package for countering melee. So.
And what about you, good guy? You agree with the A?
Absolutely. I mean, it has all the tools in its kit where it can be played efficaciously in light armor, medium armor, heavy armor. Doesn't matter. Great Axe is going to be that sort of force there that you want to keep your eye out for. If you're not wearing slash gems, honestly.
If Great Axe is a weapon that is so strong, then why is it an S? What is it gonna be an S, chat? Fucking a laser gun or a lightsaber? What's it gonna be an S? A weapon that you just turn upside down and the enemy just runs away?
Your gear, you're probably doing it wrong because you got Reap, you got Charge, you got Grabwell. It doesn't matter if the Grabwell, you can dodge it these days. It's gonna be a force. You're not gonna want to stick in it, around in it, and anything else that gets paired with the Great Axe's Grabwell is gonna be nasty.
Yeah,
combo,
with the grit and everything and the perks that you can take with the Great Axe, I think it's an obvious A as well. I think the next bow in really, this is going to be one of the harder weapons for me specifically because I've used it so much in the past, haven't used it as much as recently yet again, because bow is a much lower tier weapon in my opinion. I know you guys have some thoughts about bow. I just think it's hard to use bow very, very effectively. It's very hard to hit all your shots. You're typically not going to get hard, or not hard, but heavy attacks off. You're going to be using penetrating shot, which is really, really, really strong as well, but that's going to be just giving you one, for sure hit. So you better be a very good bow user if you're going to have fun in arena or, small scale PvP. When it comes to 1v1s,
I feel like none of these three guys has been playing the game for the past 6 months. I really think none of this guy has been playing the game for the past 6 months, chat. Are they even playing New World? Or are they playing War New?
a little bit stronger, but, arena in general, bow is going to be one that I typically see in a B or a high B tier at the best. I want to see what you guys think, though. We'll start with good guy on this one. When it comes to bow, what do you think? Where do you think it belongs?
It's a solid B. It's a solid B.
We're going to say as B, honestly. B for bow. I think it's got a lot of good changes lately. We got that beautiful update to, the old splinter shot, the old split shot. I mean, if you guys know about it from the beta way back in the day, that was what.
Why do we keep on talking about the alpha and the beta, my dude? This game is not the eye for the beta. God fucking damn it. It's like comparing apples to oranges. Jesus Christ.
Was healing and KOing people in one shield bash to a combo. But now it's very nice. Explosive shots, very juicy. You don't have to really aim to the ground. You get like nice little proc, big damage from it, get the empower from it. And you pretty much have options. You know, you can do your 3 ADS skills between poison shot, pen shot, and explosive arrow. Or you can, of course, you know, go with the whole
I didn't even mention
AoE
explosive arrow. That update on explosive arrow made this weapon, I think, so much more unique. A lot stronger than it used to be. Explosive arrow definitely bumped this one up to a high B instead of maybe even a high C or a low B for me personally. After using that explosive arrow, I had a lot of fun with it, and it was definitely very, very viable in a lot of different situations.
Explorers, listen, chat. Explosive arrow did absolutely fucking nothing for the bow. Fucking ADSing and hitting people behind trees with a bow is what made bow strong, alright? Fucking target acquisition with the bow is what made bow strong. And
Cleo, what's your thoughts on the...
it's a good ability, explosive shot, don't get me wrong. But explosive shot, how many people you seen using explosive shot lately, chat? I mean, you see them use it, of course. But it's not like explosive shot made the bow way better.
The bow.
It's strong, no doubt. I mean, I don't know, B plus for sure, A minus. I mean, it's just one of those things. Like if you can't hit the shots, you're pretty screwed. The changes.
That's the thing. They made hit the shots. They made hit the shots almost impossible.
So light armor. It's gonna be interesting to see how it affects ranged across the board in the Brimstone PTR. So yeah, I would say B plus for sure. I mean, it's just, you know, if you whiff the penetrating or the penetrating gets blocked, you're kind of screwed.
That's true. Like,
what? Oh, that's it. If you miss your pin shot, that's it. You do no damage. What the?
if you have a sword and shield on the other team, you're looking at a rough situation. Obviously, just throwing that shield up, you're pretty useless in a lot of situations with a sword and shield on the other team. You know? So because of that, I feel like it does make you know,
Data, thank you so much for that. Thank you so very much for that, Private.
Consistent at the very least.
Did he say block a pen shot? Yeah, he said if you pull a shield up, then that's it. You're completely useless. Like, if there's a guy with a shield and that guy's gonna block your pen shot, and that's it. It won't go through, and basically you do no damage. Because pen shot is 90% of your damage, and your basic attack hit for about 200-300.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so let's take a look at Blunderbuss, because this is a new-ish weapon. You're doing a video in September. Blunderbuss came out in April. How can you say this is a newish weapon? This weapon came out 5 months ago. This is not new anymore. That a lot of people don't know really where to pin this one when it comes to PvP. I'm not even going to say my ideas on this one. I know for a fact, good guy, you have tried Blunderbuss before, and I want to know exactly where you think this one belongs in PvP.
I love Blunderbuss, honestly. It's Fat Boy, and certain like bigger scale. For a small scale, I'm not quite convinced it's an A. I gotta say, I'm gonna plug it as a B. B for Blunderbuss.
I guess this guy haven't seen me play Blunderbuss, chat. Saying that Blunderbuss is not good for a small scale, it's
one more time here.
Nicely done.
I think the good combos between, you know, the auto canceling, you know, your first pump, then you get Agile Shrapnel Blast, or maybe if you got the claw shot, you can do a nice juicy combo between auto, claw, auto, and you're doing a big amount of damage there. And I think it's really tough to deal with the amount of burst that it brings to the table, the utility it brings with net shot. So I think it's gonna be B. I just haven't seen enough of it quite yet lately, especially with this patch, to really confirm.
So you guys haven't played the game in the past 5 months. That's basically it. I haven't seen the Blunderbuss around, you know, because basically I stopped playing the game before the Blunderbuss came out, and then I just came back 2 weeks ago, and now here we are making a PvP tier list. But you know, I just don't know anything about the game, but here we are.
That's maybe an A tier.
I would agree with that as well. I think B is probably the best spot for it right now. Do you think it's before or after Bow, Cleo? What do you think?
I think it's definitely ahead of Bow because it offers.
Because you can kill, you know, you can kill bow people. You can kill bow people with a Blunderbuss at 40-meter range, right? Because, you know, think about it, right? If a guy is 40-meter range from you, you shoot him with a Blunderbuss, boom, he's dead. The bow didn't shoot. The bow is made out of wood, so probably it's gonna catch fire or something like that.
There's so much more group utility. Like the knockdown shot was the thing. I really don't use that much blunderbuss, but blast shot is just super good setup for your team.
Chat, blast shot is probably one of the fucking blast shot, chat. So fucking blast shot. Blast shot is what takes it, chat, alright? Blast shot is what makes the blunderbuss be a B+ weapon, alright? If it wasn't for the blast shot, just forget about shrapnel blast hitting for 60-70% of everybody's health, right? Just forget about the net shot with a 60% slow and 60% stamina reduction for 8 seconds. Like, yeah, that's not even good, right? Like, what words, you know? Just words. Blast shot though, that is where he's at, baby. Like, that takes the cake for me. That baby, let's do it.
Assault Shrapnel Blast is just an insane amount of burst.
He covered it.
That
Good.
shot is just a great escape.
All right, I just talked a little too soon. I just talked a little too soon.
I mean, I would go ahead and say that it might even be higher than B. I mean, I know me and Good Guy butted heads on this, but I mean, burst is definitely king in PvP scenarios, especially arenas. Like you want to burst that healer down as fast as you possibly can.
Right.
So, I mean, the combo of Blast Shot into an Azov Shrapnel is really strong. It's just Blunderbuss doesn't really have that sustain, so it's kind of like you use your CDs and you gotta wait.
He actually, Neil, this is the one. Oh, no. This is the one thing I agree with him. Blunderbuss doesn't have any sustain damage. Blunderbuss has 2 shot and you have to switch. He has an amazing burst, but Blunderbuss sustain damage is shit. All right. That is the one thing I have agreed with him in the entirety of the 9 minutes that I watched.
25 seconds for your blast shot to reset. So that's kind of the problem with it, is that it really can't trade as well. But I mean,
yeah, you cannot trade with the blunderbuss.
Like that mid-range thing, like kind of
it's just a bursted weapon.
It did fill a little spot there, right? So I think blunderbuss was one of those weapons that made a lot of sense for them to bring out. We didn't really have a short range or maybe even a mid-range type weapon yet. I guess bow's kind of mid-range, but we didn't have a short range weapon that wasn't melee. So I do like that we were able to bring this blunderbuss out. It brings a lot of utility, a lot of kind of unique battles that we haven't really seen before in arena.
I like the blunderbuss.
I would agree with that B spot. I do want to go to Cleo yet again for the Void Gauntlet.
It's a solid A.
Void Gauntlet, I know for sure you've used more than me. You've become very, very well versed, I guess, with the Void Gauntlet perks, the skills, the abilities that they most PvP players are actually taking. So where do you think
S or A, dude? S or A?
I think an A, very strong A. Maybe not ahead of Rapier, but yeah, and maybe not ahead of Great Axe, but definitely like right there. I think because Petrifying Scream.
I mean, chat, at this point, we're gonna delete the S, right? And this is the S tier. All right. So A is S, B is A, and C is B, all right? So these 3 weapons right here are S tier. And these 2 weapons right... Well, this should be also over here. And the blunderbuss A right there, okay?
Great setup. You get a nice 2-second root. On top of that, that gives you a lot of Fortify. You also have Oblivion or Void Blade, right? You can rock Nullifying Oblivion, and right there you're countering Hatchet. And you get really good Weaken. And then on Void Blade, you have the Voracious Void Blade perk, and now with the changes to weapon perks and armor perks, that goes from being 30% lifesteal to 50% lifesteal on a weapon. So I know you can get some really good Void Gauntlets with that perk from like Barnacles. There's a VG you can get there that might be pretty good for PvP. Like it counters Hatchet. It counters a lot of different things that you could trade with if you're spicy with it. It pairs great with Ice Gauntlet for utility.
I wouldn't go as far as saying that it counters Hatchet. Well, I guess who plays better, right? It depends who plays better.
And other things and setup and burst. And I think, well-coordinated screams with like a blunderbuss in your team or more bursts will really be key to countering healers.
Right.
I would agree. And I think, Good Guy, you run Ice Gauntlet and Void Gauntlet quite a bit, I believe. So is you're kind of on the same pace here, same track here? You're thinking Void Gauntlet's maybe in that backside of A?
Absolutely. I'm a bigger fan of the Orb of Decay in place of Oblivion, just because, man, when you start putting some dots on some people, put that Disintegrate on them, early on in the fight and just kind of have them.
Did he say that he preferred to take Orbital Decay over Oblivion? Did I hear that right?
Feeling weak and setting up your team. A lot of other weapons have that sort of like, is there a debuff on that guy? Is there a debuff on that guy? And it's unblockable, so a lot of people just can't really handle it. It's really good damage, good opener, and allows you to mix your way into there with maybe you have Oblivion or Oblivion Scream. That's always a pretty viable combo still. Not quite as good though in the small scale because you need to have Void Blade to kind of touch up on people who might be getting really close. You think about your flamethrowers, you think about your great ass guys once they they expand their combos. At least you got something in your back bar to kind of bring yourself back up to full HP and really duke it out with them and then kind of get that left click trade going on there.
Yeah, no, I would agree with completely here.
Chad, this is a new comedy show that came out for New World. All right, these people are comedians. They are like actually professional stand-up comedians. All right.
Again for the Void Gauntlet. I want to jump though to the life staff. I'm going to go straight to good guy with this one as well. But before he even talks, I think this is obvious for everybody watching. S is just going to be where it's going. I don't care really what anyone else says. S is where it belongs. S is where it will stay. Good guy, can you please agree with me on this one?
Can you please?
Yeah, dude, I mean, I saw a screenshot today, man. 1 million damage this one guy was doing to a team with the life staff. A guy had 460k HP healing, 460,000 healing within the end of the round, of the match rather. It's insane. It brings people back, from the battles of hell pretty much, and brings it back to full HP instantaneously. It's tough to catch them when you get the Rapier in the back bar. People know, it's hard to keep up, hard to really fight back when you have that sort of thing. The AoE heal with the beacon, sacred ground. You're fighting 2k heals over time per second, man.
It's hard to beat for sure.
Not gonna be fun. Not gonna be fun.
No, not at all. And I think the biggest thing right now, right? They think they nerfed it because they said, oh, if you're heavy, you can't use it, which is great, good change. You can use it, but you're gonna have reduced healing. If you're medium, you're gonna have, no big bonus in your healing. But light, they changed it to light. They made it so that you have to use light if you want that big bonus of healing. But now they just go Rapier, life staff, and they just pretty much jump around, stay alive as long as possible, and that's why Rapier as well is an obvious A+, just because of how well it pairs with the life staff. Cleo, what's your thoughts on the life staff? Do you think this weapon's just overtuned? We need something done about it? Because right now, I do see a lot of comments in a lot of my videos, PvP videos specifically, talking about how they came back to the game, they played against somebody with a life staff, instantly they were demoralized, not very fun of a game, not fun in interactive PvP at all, and they pretty much, just left.
Why are the people that are coming back into the game after not playing the game for many months and they get their ass beat in PvP, why do you guys even get demoralized? Why do you think you're gonna stop playing the game for 5 months, come back and beat everybody? That shit doesn't even work in a regular person's brain of train of thoughts. Like, of course, why are you even getting demoralized by getting your ass beat?
Right after they came back. So I think there's something that needs to be done. What's your thoughts on it, Cleo?
Get good.
I can't really disagree. I mean, it's so strong, but is that tied to the fact that the healing is overtuned? I think so. Like, healers can pretty much just stay there, and unless you have the right build for it, like I know you can crank a Great Axe heavy, do your full combo, grab them, maelstrom them, and you might be able to burst, but
yeah, because yeah, you will.
There's just so much fortify going out, and I don't know, it's hard. Like, you can't balance from a 1v1 perspective. Like,
no, you cannot.
Casuals are upset that their build that's not built at all to counter a healer, and then they want to quit. I mean, it's not really the best mindset to have.
Right.
Whereas like you kind of
that's exactly what I said.
Healing, like it's just kind of standard par for an MMO. It's a tough scenario. I think it's definitely tied to stamina regen, mana management.
I think the daggers will be the number one, the natural predator for healers. I think dagger is gonna be the weapons that are going to come into the game and completely put a shutdown to healers. I think daggers needs to have either a silence, like a 3-4 second silence or something like that, Daggers need to have something that is really, really anti-healer. Really.
You know, cooldowns of things. Like I think it wouldn't be too big a deal if the big burst heals were there. If the cooldowns were longer or you had to, you know, manage mana. But, you know, it's something definitely needs to be addressed one way or the other. Because I don't think nerfing riposte is necessarily 100% the answer. I think riposte could be tuned down to where it's no longer a 360 stun, and it needs to be like
I said that many times before.
That might help a lot, but
yeah,
I don't know. It's definitely a tricky scenario with a lot of factors.
Also, Spear, Blunderbuss shits on healers, dude. Spear, Blunderbuss shits on healer. While they're standing on top of that healing circle, you hit them with the splitting grenades. Get that anti-healing, leg sweep, vault kick, spear into the face, apply a 24% rend, close in, basic attack, shrapnel blast, the healer's dead. All right? You just gotta play a class that can beat healers and you will be able to build it. It's not gonna work all the time because they might pull out a rapier and then just run away. But there are ways to kill the healers nowadays. It's not like healers are completely more. They're very, very, very strong. And unless you have a very small amount of weapon combination to get on these guys, then it's going to be almost impossible.
It's not just like, okay. It's obviously not just the healing because...
Well, if you think about every other weapon, right?
Seen.
So if you think about every other weapon, Great Axe can be paired with pretty much any weapon. You can pair a lot of weapons with any other weapon. Right now, we're seeing pretty much one combo. Right, so it's Life Staff Rapier.
Definitely.
I haven't really seen a different build in.
I never seen a Great Axe bow. I never seen a Great Axe musket. I never seen a Great Axe fire staff. I never seen a. The last time we saw a Great Axe with a Life Staff was at the beginning of the game. I never seen a Great Axe with a Void Gauntlet. Yeah, you cannot pair Great Axe with all of the weapons, right? You can only pair Great Axe with Blunderbuss, Warhammer, Hatchet. And anything else that you try to add in there is just not a very good build.
Forever with just Life Staff and PvP. And I think that's not really I mean, you don't want to be a Life Staff user right now because you're forced into one kind of gameplay style. So I think that's one of the bigger things too when it comes to this Life Staff build or Life Staff users in PvP. So I want to switch over and go over to Hatchet though. Cleo, I know you specifically have had some success with the Hatchet in the past. I know you know people that have had a lot of success with Hatchet. So where do you think this one belongs? This is a tricky one for me just because I know it doesn't have as much CC as you typically want in a weapon. And it's hard.
It has more CC than Fire Staff.
To stay on top of somebody without CC. We have that with the Rapier all the time when we're trying to get on top of somebody, but we can't slow them down really. Instead,
yes, you can slow them down.
They just keep, dodge rolling away. So Hatchet does have that Undying, which makes it so strong. But where do you think this one belongs?
All right, Hatchet has stagger, slow, movement speed, on defy death, HP regen, movement speed. Like, why are you saying the Hatchet doesn't have any of these things, dude? The Hatchet's got a shit ton of things.
I think it'd be
anti-healing.
Like, I mean, the utility from it's great. A lot of its effectiveness is countered by Void Gauntlet, so that's why it doesn't really get that spot because it's so hard countered by VG. But I mean, it really is a great thing that you get great move speed, you get great healing if you're behind a pillar. Are we also talking about how OPR plays into this as well?
So this is just arena and small scale. So
you hide behind a pillar, and that's it. You win the battle.
Tier list for OPR and War for those of you who don't know. So make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and go down to the comments and let us know what you think about this tier list before we get to the end of the video. But yeah, you can continue on that, Cleo.
Yeah, so I think like for that it's good, but like a lot of what throwing does, like Blunderbuss kind of just does better. But I mean, Feral Rush is really good. You get that root on someone, really pretty much a death sentence if you get caught with that. The heal, the move speed on Berserk is good. Just and also, me and Good Guy were talking about this too. The root on social distancing is really strong as well, and that.
Did he just say root? Wait, hold on, chat. Hold on. Wait, hold on, chat. I figured it out. I just figured it out. They played a different game.
that could be really helpful, and it's also a stagger, so and like interrupting healers, a good interrupt. So
there is a 1 second root. The 1 second root happens while you are staggered. Like you can never tell if you are rooted or not because your character is being staggered. Like that root, it's almost fucking irrelevant. That root, that root is literally the root goes away in the time that the stagger it's going away as well.
Yeah, but you know, just
nobody even grabs the root, all right? Nobody even grabs the root. It's a wasted point.
just Blunderbuss has a little bit more of that ranged utility as well as VG countering it, so it puts it in the B spot, I think.
Okay, I would agree with that. But I want to see what Good Guy has to say because he's also played against it quite a bit as a mage. How annoying is this build to go up against, or really this weapon, not really a build, but is the Hatchet something that belongs higher than a B, or you agree with the kind of like a B or B minus scenario?
Yeah, I think agree.
Dude, I cannot wait for the fire staff
it's
chat.
B. Like Cleo said, you know, VG.
Watch him talk about the flamethrower. The flamethrower is so strong that it has to be an A or S tier.
You know, you bring the Void Blade out and you just start swinging at a Hatchet person who just thinks they can trade you. It's not gonna go your way, man. You don't have the healing. You don't have the sustain fight there. You know, a Void Collar on VG.
Chat, who will win? A Hatchet or a Void Gauntlet left clicking in front of each other? Dude, the Hatchet will beat the shit on that Void Gauntlet any day, dude. That Hatchet is gonna go. Bro. No. What happened when the Hatchet gets to 0 HP? The Void Blade is gonna get shot. The Void Blade is gonna get like, dude, it's like 3,000. When that on the, well, I guess you could use. Not if they have Oblivion down. Well, it's on you to fight on top of the Oblivion, right? I'm just talking about left click. Oblivion remove the Hatchet. Yeah, chat. Okay, fine. Let's just fine. Okay.
He's just gonna out deal damage and heal against the Hatchet. So it's just no place there at all in that sort of scenario. I think
Oblivion and Scream and that Hatchet is. I think that is if you pop all of your things before the Oblivion. Just wait until he pulls down the Oblivion and Scream, and whenever he Scream is when you pop Berserk and then you start left clicking the guy, right? You don't pop Berserk before Oblivion. That is just a dumb move. That is just setting yourself for failure. If you pop Berserk before Oblivion, then that is on you, all right? Because Oblivion won't remove a buff after it's put. Oblivion only remove the buff whenever you put it down. Okay?
that, yeah, Hatchet is gonna be a B. It recently got a huge tune-up with the throwing tree changes. Raging Torrent, yeah, it's just not a viable weapon, not a viable skill. I've played a lot of it in the arena. You know, you end up standing still, swing at air like you're a corrupted mob. If you see one of them.
Yep.
So it's just not there whatsoever. But Feral Rush, that's good catcher. And with social distance.
Dude, listen. You can poop on the enemy, right? You throw the rending, not the rending. You throw the poop at the enemy that it reduces all of their healing with the Void Gauntlet. You have Feral Rush that is a stagger, right? And you have social distancing that is also a stagger. You can do social distancing, Feral Rush, and that guy is gonna feel it. And their healing is gonna be greatly. I don't know. I have to see that matchup and see how it goes. I don't have too much of an opinion about this one, so I'm gonna let it go, Chad.
Huge thing, man. You know, if you don't pull the throwing tree aim throw perk, you can literally launch your social distancing throw at someone, and if you block during it, you will actually not move or take the whole way backwards when you evade backwards. So you can pretty much stay on your target for the most.
So you guys heard that? A lot of you don't know that, right? A lot of you don't know that. But if you use social distancing and you block, your character doesn't go back. Okay, so you can social distance somebody that is in front of you. You block and Feral Rush, and by the time they're in the stagger, they will get hit by the Feral Rush stagger, doing a shit ton of damage. The same thing that you can do social distancing, block, leap. Okay, just know that.
Part. throw that
That is
stagger,
kind of like a nice
or-
little change because that throwing, I believe, was pretty useless right before.
Yeah, it was.
Like
Oh,
nobody
absolutely,
was going
absolutely.
throwing side
Nobody.
of the hatchet. It seemed like.
Yeah, it definitely has felt a lot better, but for sure, social distancing, if you're going to take anything from the throwing tree, especially in a small scale PvP setting like that, that's where it's at. I mean, that's your disengage, that's your engage really too. Because I mean, I've personally done a combo where you throw a social distancing throw out there, and you follow up with a nice juicy feral rush on someone, and it puts some
Put
nice
some damage
on.
down for sure.
Might root them too, catch some off guard, you know. And if not that, then at least put a slow on them and you get the haste too.
Okay. So we like where Hatchet's at. Hammer is one that's really, really tricky for me. Obviously, it's got a different spot when it comes to larger scale PvP. It's much higher in my opinion. But when it comes to, kind of the small scale PvP, the abilities are all very dodgeable, right? So everybody knows what you're about to do. Most people are taking the same abilities, right? They're always taking Shockwave, it seems like. They're always taking Path of Destiny.
At least
typically.
A, chat. At
And
least
it's because
A.
they're such great abilities when it comes to CC, but they're just so easily
We're just gonna put him at C
dodgeable. So
tier,
against a
chat.
good-
All right, we're just gonna put him at C tier. All right, that's what that we're gonna put him. We're gonna put him
player.
on C tier.
This is, in my opinion, a low B. But I know you guys are going to fight me on this one and probably bring it down even more. I just think Hammer does have such viable kind of options with, wasting with Path of Destiny, throwing a Path of Destiny at 1 or 2 or even 3 players in arena, making them, spam dodge to try to get out of the way, to kind of, get away from that sun. I think that's huge. But when it comes to the
Chat, it's too easy to dodge in a 1v1. All right, this is small scale PvP arenas. All right, this meaning that you have 2 other people with you, 3 or 4, right, in small scale PvP. If you're using your abilities like a donkey, then yeah, people will dodge it. But you cannot just go ahead into the middle of the arena, use a shockwave, and expect to stun everybody. I think it's an A. I think in small scale PvP, shockwave, and first of all, Path of Destiny is one of the best peeling ability in the game. If somebody's on top of your healer, you use Path of Destiny on that guy, and you use peel off for your healer. You can use Path of Destiny to stop somebody, and Path of Destiny, it's not easy to dodge.
damage, is a little lackluster unless you're able to...
The damage is not lackluster. The Warhammer has way too more damage. Way too much damage it has.
knock them down, and it's just something that doesn't happen too often. So where are you thinking the hammer belongs, Cleo?
I don't know. I think it's in C range, man.
I
know
knew
you were
it.
trying to talk me into it earlier.
I think these PTR changes. I think you can block path now.
Really?
And
You've been able to block path for a very... I think you've been able to block path since the game came out. Okay? You've been able to block path since the game came out. It's not the recent PTR changes.
and while I think it might be a block path now.
The Shockwave is Shockwave is the one that's coming up pretty soon.
Oh, Shockwave,
Blocking
right?
Shockwave.
Yeah, because you could block path right now. So for medium armor melee, I mean, path ain't nothing. And I don't know. Like, I mean, yeah, if you're caught with the shockwave, wrecking ball, armor breaker combo, if you're a glass cannon, you're fucked.
You're fucked. You will get one-shotted. You will get one-shotted, so we're gonna put it on CT, right? Since if you can get one-shotted with a Warhammer, boom, baby, solid C.
You're gonna die, right? So you can make the argument like, yeah, that combo is a one-shot, but by the same token, like, what does it take for you to get there to get that combo when everyone and their mother is shooting you the fuck up? You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's like it takes so much to get into range. It's so slow. It's so predictable.
And we all know
There's
the
no
meta,
cle-
right?
There's no cleave.
In arena, the meta typically is just light armor, right? So everybody's light armor rolling around, has a million stamina with the shirking energy. Nobody's going to not use their dodge roll to just get out of the way of some of this hammer CC that's so predictable. So, now I'd agree with you for sure. Do you have any other, points that you were kind of talking about there when I interrupted you?
Yeah, there's like no cleave on it, right? Like between a great axe and the upcoming great sword, you're gonna have cleave. You could just go great axe blunder. There's just better options for arena, I think, for more utility that you could do at range.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. Do you have anything to add on that one, good guy?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, let's start with this, man. It's called the Warhammer. Keeping the war on. It's like I used a good bit of Hatchet hammer for a little while.
He's got a point, though. He's got a point. It's called Warhammer.
Pick up,
Let's keep it in the wars. That's actually pretty funny.
Shockwave to kind of get the
That was actually pretty. Look, it's called a Warhammer, right? Let's just leave it for the wars.
Bruise your boys off when I'm in the middle of the heat thing. Wrecking Ball is really where most of the
Wrecking
juice
Ball
really
is always
comes from.
fun to use on 10 people standing
Love
in the
Wrecking
point.
Ball.
That was always a fun time. Maybe not always the best time to use it, but you'd just have fun screwing up all those fire staff users trying to throw down.
Yeah, it should be a war axe and a war life staff, and a war void gauntlet and a war ice gauntlet.
Pillars. You just see 5 guys up front just clearing people out of that point, and it was always fun to watch at the very least.
So good for war, man.
It is. There's a lot of times that the hammer just does belong typically in war over this small scale PvP. But one weapon that really shines in both, in my opinion, is the Ice Gauntlet. So this is definitely a weapon that Cleo uses the most out of us, probably. I've seen Good Guy, you definitely used it as well.
S tier. Yeah.
But I want to see.
Here you go, chat. S tier, dude. Ice Gauntlet, boom, baby. S tier. It has everything. Mobility, a burst. You can kill an archer with it. You can kill a musketeer with it, and you can kill great axe with it.
Cleo, what's your thoughts on the Ice Gauntlet? Where do you believe this one belongs?
Yeah, I think it's A. I mean, it's just such a natural pairing for VG, as you've seen. It's a pretty common build that a lot of people run.
It is. It is. I
Ice
think A is a
Shower
good place
pretty
for
much a
Ice
death sentence
Gauntlet.
If you're caught in it, we'll force them to burn their stamina if they want to live, and then from there, you can follow up with a grab well or another shower, and it's just game over. I've been really liking running Healing Entomb, the
No, Ice Gauntlet is not S, chat.
Good Guy told me about, since I came back to the
Fight me. Fight me. Ice Gauntlet is not S, especially after the huge fucking nerf is coming.
game. I mean, the cleanse is great, and it's really nice getting that.
What is it,
Was
30%?
30% HP
Yeah,
back?
I was gonna say.
Let me check my weapon right now.
Have they even played the game? Have they even played the game saying that you get 30% of your HP back? Or are they just reading abilities for the sake of it? He said that you get 30% back, chat.
And it's really nice getting that.
What is it,
Was
30%?
30% HP
Yeah, I
back?
was gonna say.
Let me check my
Yes,
weapon
sir.
right now.
Yes,
It's
sir.
30% heal, so of your base health. So really good. Will scale even better if you're in medium and you have a more tanky build. And spike.
It's 30% of your fucking base health. You know how much is 30% of your base health, chat? 1,700 health. You know how much that is less than 10% of anybody's health. Yeah, that 1k heal, that shit's broken, boys.
Spike is just so fun. Just endless possibilities of skill cap there. So
And you guys
just been
right
fun, like mastering Spike.
Right. And you guys right now, I mean, I think Good Guy takes Meteor Shower, or not Meteor. Yeah, wait, what was that called? It's Ice Storm, right? Ice Storm. And then Cleo,
I didn't even know the name of it.
you take Spike, so you're able to combo that
Correct.
together.
Yeah. So we combo it. I still think Shower's better, but if we're in a team, it's great because we can complement each other with it. So it's good.
It's a good combo. They
Chat,
just work really
I'm
well
running
together,
out of
Ice
stretch I
Gauntlet
can do in the
general.
chat,
I think
right?
Ice Gauntlet
I can do
definitely
this shit
belongs in
over
the A
here.
tier.
Wow,
I would
hardcore,
assume Good Guy,
hardcore,
you would
you see
agree with
this?
the A tier for the Ice Gauntlet, or you think it belongs in the S? I was almost thinking S earlier in the week, but just recently, thinking a little bit farther in detail on some of the weapons that are in front of it in the A tier, I think it's probably belongs in that, A minus, just because some of these weapons right now are just really, really in good spots.
Yeah, I would say definitely A. The recent emergence of Ice Pylon is really interesting. I mean, that's a lot of damage.
Do you know when the server will be coming back up? It will be coming back up in about 15 to 20 minutes, all right, chat? 15 to 20 minutes.
You gotta really respect
Hey, predictions, chat, for the musket. Chat, predictions for the musket.
the Ice Pylon lately. These
Where do you
days.
guys think
It's
they're
a
gonna
lot of
put the
damage.
musket
You know,
at?
Take care of it very quickly and early on. It's literally gonna probably out DPS you on this.
It does a lot of damage. If you do not focus that Ice Pylon, make sure you kill that thing right away in Arena. If you guys are playing Arena and you're getting hit in the back and there's nothing back there, there's an Ice Pylon you're missing, and it is destroying you from behind. So definitely take that one out. But I want to talk a little bit about the musket, because this one's one of the most interesting, in my opinions, because nobody really knows where this one belongs, because it depends on the
It belongs in the fucking trash. It belongs in fucking Call of Duty. That's where it belongs.
player, just kind of like the bow again, but even more so, because the musket doesn't give you that kind of survivability or that
Just take it to PUBG, dude. The thing is that if you put the musket in PUBG, it will be the best weapon in the game.
kind of movement that bow does. So where do you guys think the musket kind of belongs? So I'll start with you, Cleo, on this one, because you were the one fighting me, trying to push that musket up in the tier list. When I was saying, I don't really like the musket. It doesn't belong in small scale much. Arena, it's not very good. You don't have much movement.
S++.
Yeah, okay.
Nah, I'm just kidding, man. I'm kidding.
It's just a solid F.
It's one of those weapons. Like if you're like 95% of players, it's gonna be like a C. It's gonna be a C. If your shroud's like kid, you're an S. You're in A territory, right? Like if you can hit everything and you're really cracked, it's
Okay. So basically what he said, the weapon is very good, but you gotta be good with it. Then that is not a C weapon, my man. If you said that a person can play with it and be S, then it's not a C weapon.
S or A. If you're honest with yourself and you're, relying on traps and bombs, it's pretty fucked, and you're definitely in the C bottom of the barrel. So that's where I stand on it.
And I actually saw this hammer right here. Did we ever? We said D, did we not? Or did we end up with C?
D? Oh.
You know what I mean?
Not sure.
I feel like, because I feel like, in my opinion, hammer is worse off than musket is in small scale. But I wanted to confirm with Good Guy, where are you thinking these two weapons belong? Let's go read back over.
Thank you so very much for that, man.
Right now,
thank you so very much for that,
hammer is a worse off weapon than musket in 3v3s. It just, like I said, too predictable. When it comes to the musket, it's got that raw damage at least. So if you're hitting your shots, it's going to be a viable weapon. Where are you thinking, Good Guy, for these two?
Yeah, I think I could probably see hammer being around D probably. There's no way it's gonna catch anyone, that's for sure. I mean, it has nice homing on it. Keeps you sticky to someone, but is he always gonna hit? I don't think so.
Oh,
shit! I think I can see it drop into D.
What the fuck are they, man? They are the new world PvP experts, chat.
Honestly.
Okay, and what's your thoughts on the musket? Did you think the musket is, like I said, Cleo's thinking that it has a chance to be useful. I'm not too sure on it.
These are the people that when COVID-19 hit, they were giving life coaching lessons. All right. Whenever COVID-19 hit, they were out there just giving people life coaching lesson. Like, listen, I know that your life is right now around C tier, but if you do this, you can bring it up to the A tier. All right. In small scale, small scale, public people, or small, large scale, it is what it is.
Just kind of being generous, in my opinion. But I would like to hear what you have to say about that one.
Yeah, I think with the line of sight, play around that pillar, and that could be messing too much with the musket.
Shut it for the hammer and D.
I think also the musket is very reliant on the rapier, so if you can't use the rapier right and you're not using it correctly, the musket's gonna fall really badly and fall on its face just because it's clunky still. Even a year later, sure you want to get your shooter stance, but you're vulnerable, man. You're in ADS, so you're pretty much tunnel vision. So I can't quite say it's all that, honestly.
Okay. What do you guys think about the spear? Because the spear is one of those weapons that I'm excited to talk about because of all the perks. One of our buddies, Snowpledge, he plays with us quite a bit. He's been using the spear quite a bit in arena. And we see some of these combos.
Spear, it's mega A tier. 100%. No, it's not S because it doesn't have grid other than just one ability. Because it doesn't have grid, it is very predictable. Spear is A tier, chat. Fight me. Fight me. Run 300 strength. Still, your perforate is not a grid. And your vol kick is not grid.
A lot of damage.
It's an A tier, chat.
And these perks that you're able to run with the spear
it is
are
here.
Only benefiting
A tier here
into a just crazy amount. Right? We're seeing just what he comboed the other day. I think we comboed like 8K in about half a second, it seemed like. But where are you thinking for this one? Good Guy, you play with Snowpledge quite a bit. And he's pretty much a spear only player, it seems like, at this point. So where are you thinking this one belongs? I know you've played against it as well.
Don't you dare, dude.
I gotta say it's A, man. It's an all-around, pretty well-rounded weapon.
Okay.
He's using the unorthodox, and I always got a lot of pushback on this. But he's using Cyclone, man. Mending Cyclone. Actually, rather, Leeching Cyclone. And he's getting a lot of heals. He's getting a lot of damage. We're talking about 4K. I end up helping him out by putting some buffs on him and get that 30% damage cap from the exploited weakness capstone in the spear. So he's dealing damage, honestly.
Yo, Spanish, thank you so very much for that sub. So these are the people that are using Cyclo in arenas. These are the people that are using Cyclone in arenas, and you beat the shit out of them with Cyclone. Now we know, chat. Now we know who's been using Cyclone in arena. All right, we figured it out.
You know, between that and your perforate, you got your skewer, you got you know, a lot of grit in there too in the build. You're gonna.
He said a lot of grit, chat. Man, Spear has all of the grits. Spear has all of the grits. It only has one grit. It literally has only one grit in leg sweep.
You're gonna deal. You're gonna be a menace. So you'll be a force to be dealt with. That's for doubt. No doubt about that.
And remember, he doesn't take the last perk on Cyclone. That's an important note. Like it's about like just the heal on that. I mean, it's really strong heal.
It
Really
is.
sustained.
Yeah, it is for sure. And Cleo, what do you think about it? You agree with the A tier for that?
Yeah, Cyclone, chat. That's what makes the Spear strong. All right, it's just Cyclone. All right, it's just think about it, chat. It's Cyclone, right? It's Cyclone, right? So it has to be A tier.
I mean, it's so good. You get fast CDs, massive damage. You know.
How are you getting massive damage if you're using Cyclone, man? How is he getting massive damage with Cyclone?
Oh, just great fortify with perforate. I mean, it's good survivability. You get weaken on the skewer if you get the perk on it, and empower. I mean, it's just solid weapon, man. Great. It
is a great weapon,
kind of escape too, with
but
skewer
not with
and
fucking
Volcake. You get out
Cyclone.
of those ice showers, it's really good.
Well, I'm going to stick with you, Cleo, on this next one because this is a weapon that you were talking quite a bit about when it comes to the sword and shield. You still believe it has maybe a spot in small scale in arena. We don't see it much when we play 3v3s, but where do you believe this one belongs?
Bruh, in small scale PvP, sword and shield is f***ing busted.
You know, I was thinking of putting it in A, but I think, right, like it's one of those weapons that if you're cracked with it, Leaping Strike is very impactful and offers slow and setup that I believe will counter healers. But the problem is that 99% of sword people like just don't ever hit their Leaping Strike, and like.
Did he just say that 99% of the player base don't hit with Leaping Strike? Did they change Leaping Strike and I didn't notice, and instead of going forward, it goes backwards? How does 99% of the player base doesn't hit with sweeping with fucking
percent of sword people like believe will counter healers, but the problem is that 99% of sword people like just don't ever hit their Leaping Strike.
Yeah, they never hit it. They never hit it. Yo, that ability, it's so hard to hit that people don't even take the Leaping Strike, chat. Leaping Strike is so hard to hit that nobody even takes Leaping Strike. This is not an old video. This video came out today. This is a September 23rd, 2022. This video came out today. All right, today.
And like make the weapon look really bad.
So one of the big things is, right, the cooldown.
Because it makes a weapon so bad because 99% of the player base doesn't hit with Leaping Strike. That's it.
On Leaping Strike, isn't it pretty dang long?
It is long. It's 17 seconds right now. I have a bunch of refreshing on right now.
So
but,
it punishes you quite a bit, right? So if you don't hit that Leaping Strike, you're going to be in trouble. You're going to be kind of useless to your team for a little bit, in my opinion, at least. That sword and shield will. Obviously, you have another weapon, but that's the reason I at least personally believe this one belongs in the C tier. But I know you want to fight for that B tier probably. What else do you have to say about the sword and shield before we go over to Good Guy and see what he believes?
Yeah, I think, you know, with Shield Bash in arenas, it's good utility if you can land it. And I think with Great Axe, like Sword and Shield and Great Axe is a really sleeper small like arena combo that a lot of people are sleeping on. I mean, Shield Rush is good weaken, good utility, another slow, which is good, AoE slow. So, you know, it does bring some stuff to the table, and I think with the armor changes coming up, with the medium being a little stronger and heavy being a little stronger with this patch, I think the combos will be there, man. But yeah, you have to land Leaping Strike. If you don't land it, yeah, it's pretty shit.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah, it definitely is. Good Guy, what do you have to say about it? Would you agree with maybe like a C+ over Musket, maybe?
I think I gotta give it a B, man. It's not quite there anymore. You know, the guaranteed Leaping Strike and the Shield Bash combo getting tuned down so that, you know, people have a way to actually react. That was a much needed change, but
Yeah, he went from S to A.
Also, that power, that instantaneous gratification.
Spanish, thank you so very much for those two, man. That is two. That is two. I'm keeping counts, all right?
Makes it fall a little bit back down to be where it's reasonable, it's understandable, it's able to work with it. I think also it's a double whammy there too with the leaping strike, getting that cowardly punishment slow reduced to 3 seconds now. It used to be 8 seconds off 50%.
Yeah, it used to be 8 seconds from behind, but now regardless where it hits you, it's a goddamn fucking slow. That shit is way. Joda, thank you for the sub. Who think that leaping strike now is stronger than before? Now that regardless wherever they hit you, it's a slow that they can punish you with that slow tremendously. Dude, leaping strike now, it's better than before. Because before it would not apply, well, it's strong. Dude, 100%. It's a buff. Leaping strike got buffed. All right, just because you can no longer leaping strike and shield bash, yeah, sure, that is indeed a nerf. But logging on, okay, still under maintenance.
That was pretty disgusting. I think there's a lot of other power that came from it. I think now it's pretty good still. You got 7 perks you can work with, on your sword and your shield, especially with the legendary shields. If you guys are looking out for those things are juicy.
Yeah, they are.
Making no doubt about that.
They definitely are. So the next weapon I'm kind of excited about is the Fire Staff, right? So the Fire Staff's one that I pretty much never strayed away from. People are starting to use Meteor Shower. People are starting to use Flamethrower. Flamethrower is definitely meta right now when it comes to 3v3. We also see Fireball as a very, very obvious choice, as you're always going to hit a Fireball. You just wait till they have no stamina, and you're never going to miss.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Yeah, just wait till they have no stamina, and then use the Fireball. You might as fucking well. If the enemy has no stamina, then also they cannot dodge your melee attacks. Right? Like, if you wait until the enemy has no stamina, you can come in with a great axe and just beat the shit out of them. Like, every fucking weapon, if the enemy has no stamina, you can come and beat the shit out of them with.
It. This is just a very, very obvious choice for me when it comes to PvP. I love it, and that's one of the reasons I believe it belongs in maybe a high tier B or even mid tier B. I'm telling you what, I definitely think it belongs a little bit farther into it than maybe the Sword and Shield, and then maybe even Hatchet as well. So I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are on this. I know Cleo used Fire Staff, and you were actually the first one who showed me Fire Staff. In kind of the build that you went. So what's your thoughts? Where do you think this one belongs in the B tier? Is there a weapon you believe it kind of fits in between, or what's your thoughts on it?
C tier.
Yeah, I mean, Fire Staff, Fireball is great. Probably one of the most brain dead abilities in the game. So fun to use. I love using it.
It's
I went from hating Fire Staff in Alpha because it was so overtuned and broken. I was like, oh, I'm never gonna.
One of the easiest abilities to hit in the game. I completely disagree with that. Brain dead ability to use Fireball. Dude, that Fireball, you can see it coming from 18 miles away, dude. If you get hit by a fire... The reason that they said that you need to be out of stamina is so that's the one time that you can hit with Fireball. Because Fireball has such a... And you can just dodge that shit. It's easier to hit with a musket shot or any bow shot or even the gravity well, the reap. Any of those abilities are brain dead abilities I use, but saying that Fireball is the one brain dead ability out of all of these weapons over here, come on, dog.
And then, I kind of just got with it, but, like the change to Pillar made it really good. Whereas if you have 2 in your arena team, right, like you can get a lot of coordinated bursts in a short time. But then kind of when you blow that load, it's kind of over, and then you really don't have much to trade with like melee or like great axes that run up on you, or you can really get shot up by bows and muskets.
And anything else?
Burnout's good. I think it definitely could go.
Man, how the hell did this guy say that Burnout is good, man? Man, how can this guy say Burnout is good, man?
Sword and Shield, I mean, it's decent sustain. Like, if you're versing a melee-heavy team, right, like Flamethrower is really good, too. You could get that off and really punish people. And if you go a Burning build, like, you get the Burning Ring and like, on an armor piece, you get the Burning Flamethrower thing. You could potentially be doing a lot of DPS to Bruiser team.
Oh, for sure. Flamethrower is way better than I ever remember it being when we, all came back to the game. or Good Guy pretty much stay. But, me and you came back to the game, and Flamethrower started to be just utilized so well, doing a ton of
I started that shit. I started using Flamethrower, and then the entire world saw how strong it was.
damage. I think it's an obvious choice to be in the B tier because it has that kind of...
It's not stronger than Sword and Shield, though. Sword and Shield will shit on a Flamethrower, on a Fire Staff any day, dude. Sword and Shield is literally the main nemesis for a fucking Fire Staff. Because Sword and Shield can block all of the Fire Staff ability. Every single one of them. And Sword and Shield will leap on him, on the Fire Staff, will apply the slow, and all they have to do is left click, left click, left click, left click. The moment that they want to use Burn Now, Shield Bash. And they're fucking dead.
Capability of being a great weapon if you're able to hit your pillars, if you're able to play the distance on that Flamethrower, you're able to stack those, those burns very quickly. What's your thoughts here on this one, Good Guy?
C tier.
Yeah, I definitely gotta say Fire Staff probably right where we have it placed. I think B is pretty solid, honestly, on the Fire Staff. Yeah, you got your Fireball. That's juicy. It's always gonna be a nice bit of damage there. AoE as well, so you're gonna be splashing on a lot of people, especially if they're all clumped.
Is this a small scale or fucking large scale? Why are they talking? Why are they talking like you're gonna throw a fireball and hit 14 fucking people?
Up together. Burnout, it might be a little bit not as great as you like it to be, honestly.
100%.
I would like a little buff to Burnout
tell.
if anyone's listening. Little buff to Burnout.
Yeah.
I would like it.
Yeah.
Because right now, it does give you that mobility, but does it really give you that mobility? You're sitting there for, 2 seconds, and you're finally moving, and you don't even really go that far. I know you don't want to maybe probably change the, the time it takes to get moving, but you might want to add some damage at the very least, right?
No, it doesn't fucking need... Oh my god. It doesn't need damage. It just need to either be fucking faster or motherfucking add grit to it. It does not need damage at all. Make it quicker or give it grid. Oh my god. This guy have...
Because most people can dodge out of the way. So if you're hitting people with the Burnout, maybe make it actually do damage.
It deals a pretty good damage. Burnout deals more damage almost than Fireball. Burnout deals a pretty good damage, and on top of that, it applies a very nice burn.
That's my take on the Burnout at the very least on the...
Terrible take. Burnout deals good amount of damage. It's just, it takes too long to cast, and is easily interrupted. That is the problem. It takes too long to cast. What is the major problem with Warhammer? The abilities take too long to cast, right? They gave it grit. Makes sense. In Burnout, it takes too long to cast. It doesn't have grid. Why did we give grid to Incinerate? Because it took too long to cast, right? It makes sense. If something takes too long to cast, you don't increase the damage. Well, yeah, sure. If you want to increase the damage, fine. But you need to make it quicker.
Fire Staff.
It's so funny, like, backing out.
And even after giving Incinerate grid, it's still a shit ability, right? Because Incinerate didn't... Yes, it needed grid because of how long it took, but we can finally see that Incinerate, it's the problem with Incinerate is not that it was interruptible, is that it takes 2.5 minutes to go to be used. Nobody gets... You know who get hit by Incinerate? The Lost. Like, if you go to the cave in Karlaski and you go inside of the cave and then all of the Lost come to you, you use the Incinerate and then you hit the Lost.
Alpha Fire Staff was the most broken weapon, so it's been kind of cool, like, back in Alpha.
Dude, I hate how he keeps bringing up Alpha and Beta. Why does he keep bringing up Alpha and Beta like that is a goddamn relevant subject?
Fire Staff was the most broken weapon, so it's been kind of cool to see the up.
Back in my day, I remember when I used to buy a hot dog for 2 cents. Now these hot dogs are $5.99. Back in Alpha, I used to go out there with $1 and buy 58 hot dogs.
Ups and downs of it, and I know, like, I remember when Pillar early on got patched. It's just weird, like how do you... It's almost like falling into the realm of, like, Warhammer, Like, Fire Staff is just one of those things that the more you add, like, the more burst that kind of exponentially goes up in war. So I could see for small scale they don't want it to get too out of hand and kind of maybe give it too much.
That's
just something
true.
to think about.
It's the
What the fuck did he say about wars?
Too out of hand. That kind of exponentially goes up in war. That the more you add, like, the more burst that kind of exponentially goes up in war.
Exponentially goes up in war. Going from 0 to 1 is not an exponential change, all right? Okay, when was the last time you saw Fire Staff being actually everybody using Fire Staff in wars? You only see 2 or 3 Fire Staff in wars at most. Because they are friends of the goddamn governor. Otherwise, you wouldn't see them there.
So I could see for small scale, they don't want it to get too out of hand. And
The Fire Staff has absolutely nothing,
too
dude.
Much.
That's
just something
true.
to think about.
It's the only mage weapon that doesn't have CC, so that's the only reason I'm kind of...
It doesn't have CC. It doesn't have any utility. It doesn't have anti-healing. It doesn't have weaken. It doesn't have ren. It doesn't have stagger. It doesn't have slow. It doesn't have stun. It doesn't have... I think I fucking mentioned everything it's in the game that the Fire Staff doesn't have. Because it doesn't have anything.
thinking, you know, it's got to have a lot more damage, in my opinion. But
no! If you add more damage to the Fire Staff, then it becomes a fucking broken weapon. The Fire Staff doesn't need more damage. The Fire Staff just needs some goddamn freaking utility, dude. It doesn't need... If you add more damage to it, then it will become a busted weapon that will destroy everybody in 2 seconds. No, just give it utility so it's a par with other weapons in the game. Just give the Fire Staff some goddamn utility. Slow, roots, knockback, stagger, anti... Something, dude. Something. You know what I was thinking last night in bed, chat? That Meteor Shower should be completely reworked. Meteor Shower, if you use Meteor Shower, should be just one meteor coming down. Bang! That the longer you cast it, the more damage it do, right? You can use it immediately and it will do like 1,500, 2,000 damage coming down to the ground, right? But if you sit there channeling the Meteor Shower, right? It's a stronger and stronger and stronger. And you send down that meteor in a goddamn gravity well in the middle of the war, doing 4, 5, 6,000 damage. And that is okay. But you need to sit there and cast it. 5, 6 seconds of a cast.
Yeah, no, but for small scale, it's rough. It's a fine line.
For small scale, it's rough. For large scale, it's rough. It's just a forgotten weapon that has been getting nerfed every single patch for the last goddamn 5 patches.
You give it way more damage now, and Wars is cracked again.
I know exactly what you're saying there.
You know?
Yeah. Yep.
But like for arenas, right? Like Blunder, Ice, and VG all.
Did this guy say that they're too strong in Wars? Dude, this guy played the game when it came out, and they stopped playing, man. He said that he's too strong in Wars. These people haven't played the game after the first month when we have a bunch of Fire Staff in the Wars doing damage.
Rough. It's a fine line because if you give it way more damage now, and Wars is cracked again.
I know exactly what you're saying there.
You know?
Yeah. Yep.
But like for arenas, right? Like Blunder, Ice,
if you give it too much damage, it will be cracked in Wars.
That's
okay, that's what he said.
So before we talk about the Great Sword, because we all want to talk about the Great Sword, the PTR, you know, just released with the Great Sword. We were able to play with it quite a bit and to go into the Brimstone Sands area to really mess around with it. But I want to talk a little bit about some of these weapons in the A tier, B tier. It's really just A and B that we can talk about and trying to switch these weapons up. I want to make sure we have it the most accurate as possible. So let's go through it. The Rapier is at a good spot, in my opinion. I don't know your guys' thoughts. I'm going to go through this, and if I have a different kind of thought on where they're placed, you guys just let me know.
The Great Sword, it's A right here, or Great Sword is very close to C to S. In small scale PvP, the Great Sword, it's mega broken. It has everything. The Great Sword has absolutely everything. It has damage. It has utility. You can block everything with it. And it has a shit ton of CC. Almost every... No CC? What do you mean no CC, bro? It has root, stagger, and slow. It has a shit ton of CC. It has stagger with the steadfast, right? It has stagger with the sky, the sky movement. It has a slow with the spin, and it has a root. It has ren. You can block magic. You can blow muskets. You can block arrows. This weapon has absolutely everything. It has a defiant stance for you to go tank. It has a stance for you to do damage. Like, this weapon has literally everything. It has self-sustain. It has so much fucking healing. Whenever you dodge, your next 3 attacks deal 10% more damage and you gain stamina back. If you crit with it, you get like 20% of your health and you get... Great Sword, it's mega busted. Like, Super A, S tier. It's Shed, bro. Yeah, in a Shed player's hand.
As well, but the Rapier, I think...
Try it. I already did. I have like 50 hours with a Great Sword and I beat everybody in the PTR with it because it's super strong.
It's at a good spot. I think the Great Axe could
Come and find me in the PTR with your weapon combination. I'll use the greatsword, and you see how useful you feel.
Would be moved back just a little bit and we put the spear farther. Honestly, I think that's about the only change out of all of these is that spear needs moved, right? So that's what really led me to this even conversation here is that spear with the perks that it adds, the damage that it does. It has CC. It's so good. It's always been good for small scale. So now that we have arenas for it to really thrive, I just want to see if you guys would be okay with moving that spear from A- up to right behind the rapier at about an A+. Cleo, you good with that?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, in the right hand, spear is just cracked. It's impressive, man.
And what do you think, good
like
guy?
5
Because I
seconds.
know, like I said, you've played with it a lot on your team at the very least, and you've played against it as well. Would you say the spear belongs maybe in that A+?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, rapier and spear, they're like hand in hand, honestly, these days. It's nice combo.
It is a very, very nice combo. But now we're talking about the greatsword, which is one of the swords that just recently, like I said, came out in the PTR for us to play with. It's got a lot of really cool abilities from the defensive to the offensive side. It's got the counter. It's got a lot of different abilities that do a lot of damage. And when it comes to offensive, it's got the damage. The one thing it doesn't have is much mobility. So I know Cleo and good guy, you guys were playing around with this one quite a bit, so you could test and kind of give me a good understanding of where this one belongs. So I would want to start with, I don't even know, who probably played this one more. I'll go with Cleo.
He has enough mobility. The greatsword has enough mobility.
You probably played with it a little bit more than good guy in the PTR, so I want to start with you. Where do you think this, great sword belongs?
It's definitely one of the more unique weapons we've seen, right? Like stances are great, and I think the potential for high skill cap with that is a very high skill ceiling because, it just has a lot of good sustain. You got great perks like critical comeback. You could literally block ranged attacks, which Sword and Shield is the only other weapon that could do that. Undying Defiance, the ultimate perk on the Defiance side. Attacking within 3 seconds of a block heals for 15% of the damage dealt. In baseline, you heal for 5%.
So he's not gonna cover the other ultimate that gives you 10% cooldown reduction on heavy attacks.
Of all damage from attacks. I mean, there's just potential for a lot of good sustain. And what's weird about the weapon though is that it really doesn't have a lot of combo ability within itself. I was messing with some of the abilities like Steadfast Strike into Skyward Slash. And you could pretty much dodge out of all of them, but it's one of those things that if they burn all their stamina, you can.
That applies with every weapon in the game. If the enemy has no stamina, you can just beat the shit out of them with literally a light staff. If the enemy has no stamina, you can just go ahead and left click with the light staff and they cannot dodge it.
Rip some wild fucking combos. So, and then Calamity Counter, just like a really good, kind of like Riposte without the stun, like just good sustain there, good counter attack. So high skill cap there, and then, just offers a very interesting thing. Like
it is a very high skill cap.
It's going to be interesting to see
weapon.
how good people can get with this. And with the armor changes where people really can't get away, maybe.
That's true. That's true. With the auto attacks,
it's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, I think that could be huge.
It's going to be interesting to see. So I could say it could go even S. Like, I mean, if you're
really.
I really don't know if it's going to have the burst to take out a healer in a 1v1, which
100% will. Dude, 100% will. The Great Axe, the Sweat Gourd sheds on the light staff. He has a Ren, dude. He has an anti-healing ability that is a Ren and is a anti-healing ability in all in one. All in one. And then you can cross-cut the enemy on top of that sacred ground, and you can heavy attack the shit out of them. It's insane. Sweat Gourd beats the shit out of healers, dude. Sweat Gourd beats the shit out of healers.
might not deserve the S, but maybe A+, right? Like, I think depending on how good you can get with it, it could really, really, really be
It is a
oppressive and
very,
sustained,
very
like,
good
sustained
weapon.
as well as Great Axe, but with even more defensive capability.
Okay. And good guy, I have 2 questions for you here. Would you agree with the S? And then question 2, what would you pair it with? What's a weapon that you say is going to go very, very well with the greatsword? I know a lot of people are thinking about a lot of different combos right now. I've heard some of the wildest things. Where do you think this sword belongs in the PvP tier list? And then, like I said, what weapon belongs with it?
Oh, I'm glad he cut it off there. Wait, what do you think? What do you think it belongs? Boom. Let's end the video right here because this guy is gonna say some dumb shit.